All right. Well, it is mock draft Monday. We are two brothers. I'm Jack along with Joey, two out of three of the Jag Bros. We are diehard Jaguars fans, and today is the day after the Super Bowl. And so it is like full NFL draft mania. It is NFL draft season. Of course, we'll have the combine in a couple weeks, then free agency, and then the NFL draft at the end of April. But Joey, you and I love doing mock drafts. We love this time of the year. And so we're going to do our first 7 round mock draft. But before we hit go, obviously the Eagles destroyed the Chiefs, which I loved.
Yeah.
Love seeing the Chiefs dynasty finally crumble down. But when you think about that game, Joey, and you think about as we are about to hit go on our draft, how does this change your thoughts for what the Jaguars should attack a little bit in free agency? Because obviously we'll get into that, but mostly for the draft. How do you think it kind of changes the Jags' perspective?
It definitely showed you how valuable a defensive line is. Patrick Mahomes had no time,
Nope.
completely rushed. They didn't even blitz at all, and they got
Yeah,
all
zero
people,
zero blitzes all night.
there. It showed you it wasn't just coming from the outside edge. There was push on the inside. They were mixing it up, and it shows you when you can get home, you can dominate. And the offense played well, but the pick six, the strip fumble, and also the other pick that was like on the 15-yard line, that was 21 points right there for the Eagles. All the turnovers led to the absolute blowout of the Chiefs, which was finally, I was like, I know this team isn't that good. And they were finally shown to be kind of the frauds that they have been this entire season.
About
But
time.
yeah, I love getting into the draft now. We saw Cooper DeJean do well, who was high on our board. We really wanted us to trade up in the second round to go get him. Mitchell did really well, who a lot of people thought we would draft in the first round. And just keeping up with some of the names that you really wanted to get and then seeing them do well. And you're like, I called it. It's really fun. So,
Yes. Yeah, you and I were dying for the Jags to trade up for any because several guys slipped into the second round, and Mason Smith has been fine, but he was a guy that a lot of us felt like could have even been on the board into the
oh,
third
yeah,
round.
third or fourth round.
So, yeah, no Trent Baalke, which is awesome. And if you love the NFL draft, you love the Jags, hit subscribe. We're going to be doing some extra content because, I mean, if nothing else, the Eagles taught us the NFL draft is huge. You can
Oh, yeah.
really, really build a championship team through the draft. DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter a couple of years ago. A lot of these guys are draft picks, homegrown Eagles guys that have draft and develop. And so hopefully 2025 is going to be a big, big year for the Jags. Joey, we'll switch it up. Our last mock, I had the first or the odds. Joey, you've got the odds. So I'm going to hit go and we're going to get rolling. Let's see who goes top four. And I'm curious if
Right.
you're going to go Mason Graham, who's become a popular
Oh,
pick here.
no, 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 no. With Travis Hunter there, I am obviously going to run my card up with Travis Hunter. I think that he is the best guy in the draft for us, and honestly, talent-wise. You can start him at corner and then play him a little bit in wide receiver, and then maybe next year, if you get a cornerback, you can move him to wide receiver. He's so versatile. You don't have to play him in one position for that game. Maybe he's not playing well at cornerback. You could just switch him to wide receiver, and it would be a nightmare to plan for the Jaguars because you don't know where Travis Hunter is going to play. You could really have some fun. And with this young, uh, new head coach, young, coaching in general, I think they could come up with some really unique things for Travis Hunter. So, yeah, I'm taking Travis Hunter all day.
And it is a realistic scenario. What's going to be interesting is we'll try to, if something is crazy, like if Travis Hunter was available in the second round, we wouldn't take him because you're like, there's no way that's happening. But I could easily see quarterback. I don't think necessarily OT, but you could see a Mason Graham or Ted McMillan, and certainly Abdul Carter go in some of these spots. I would also love if the Titans pick Shador Sanders. Just saying that as well. But Travis Hunter is a beast, won the Heisman. And you just get a star in Jacksonville. And this is a team that needs to go. If anything from the Eagles, you should have a takeaway. It should be go best available player. And he's number one here, number one on a lot of people's boards. I love it, Joey. I give that. I'll be curious. I'm sure Pro Football will probably give an A plus too, but that's an A plus grade for me.
Oh yeah. And I mean it shows the Eagles went cornerback with Mitchell
Yep.
and Cooper DeJean, both absolute starters and had monster years.
Oh, there goes your safety. So we were
Oh
talking a little
yeah.
bit before. Joey is very high on Nick Eamon Worry, the safety out
Oh
of
yeah.
South Carolina.
I love how big he is and physical.
No
On
Chiefs, no trade.
a run stopping safety. Alrighty, Jack, this is your
All
pick.
right.
I've heard the Jags really like Kenneth Grant.
Yep.
I heard a tweet say that we may like Kenneth Grant more than Mason Grant, which is crazy, but
I think that's a little clickbait there.
yeah.
But I did see that too. I forget, was it it's not Bleacher Report, but someone of Walter Football, I think, said
Yeah.
that. Um he's I'm going to talk through a couple of these guys. If this is the way the draft board fell, which is realistic, I think Kenneth Grant could easily go towards the end of round one, especially what we're talking about. A lot of great defensive tackles, defensive ends this year. And so I think that position value is going to go up a little bit. Um, Xavier Watts is a guy we're kind of split on. Joey, I know you've cooled off on him a little bit. I love him. You're not going to go secondary, but if we went Mason Graham round one, like I would look a lot at Xavier Watts. He's just an interception turnover machine for a Jags defense who just could not get a turnover to save their life. Good leader for Notre Dame, helped lead that defense to the championship. Shamar Stewart is solid. Trey Harris, I love, but again, you're not going to skill players, boom, boom. So Kenneth Grant is just a beast. I don't know if he's going to be 342. I'll be very curious what he does weigh in at the combine here in a couple weeks. But we saw it even with the big guy for the Titans. The big guy is an understatement. Who they Sweat.
Sweat.
Yeah, Devondre Sweat out of UT, 360, 370. There was concerns, can he be an every down player? Well, he had a fantastic rookie year. So hate to see that as a Jags fan. But if Kenneth Grant is there at 36, you feel great about building the defense. You get a beast in the middle, a run stopper who's actually secretly a pretty good pass rusher as well for a dude that's
For
330,
size.
340.
Definitely. And then, yeah, beefing up the defensive line. I think Eric Armstead will have a much better year than he did
Man, I
last
hope so.
year.
Mason Smith.
Um, Mason Smith, I think, will be better. I still don't think he's going to have like a breakout year. I think Hamilton really started to come on a little bit towards the end of the year. I could see him having a pretty good year, kind of switching in with Mason Smith here and there.
You want to
Ooh,
move
only
back
moved
one spot.
one, but I only get 254. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
not enough.
no,
Um,
doesn't move the needle.
oh, I gotta go edge here, I think,
Three
with
great ones.
three great ones. I don't think Jack Sawyer would be there.
I agree. Captain Jack.
And honestly, the Boston College guy most likely
I I agree. Donovan Ezeraku has been
won't
a
be
big
there
name.
either.
Good Senior Bowl.
Now, to be honest, I think Kyle Kennard may be even better than both of
Mm.
them. He's a guy I watched game film on just last night. Uh, is really good with the hands, has different rushing styles of spin move, chop, dip block, power. He has kind of a great arsenal, had a really good year at South Carolina, and could really be a great rotational guy. You can move Trayvon Walker inside sometimes, but you can leave him out mostly. get him the reps on third down, on blitzes, and kind of come up with packages for him. I think you have to go edge here. We saw how important getting to the quarterback was, seeing Josh Sweat in the Super Bowl having a huge game. And then what they had 6, 7 sacks. We
Yeah, not to
average like
mention,
one or two, maybe a
yeah.
game. We need to get our sack number up. And I think Kyle Kennard would be a huge add.
We've
And
been
he
just
could really
dying for
possibly
an
be
edge
there.
three.
Oh, I know.
Dying. Like
And I don't know
we've said
what
no one.
Balky's issue was with getting another edge.
Is allergic to
Everyone and
it.
their mom is like, okay, if we're not going to draft one, get one in free agency. We don't get one in free agency, or we
Yeah.
finally got
Or
one and then we
trade one.
traded them before the season even started
Yeah.
because Eric Armstead, which a lot of people are like, oh, was he supposed to play outside or inside? Because he said that he wanted to play inside and he was told outside. And I really think the thing was Eric probably, when we signed him, was like, I would like to try outside. And Trent Baalke was like, oh, yeah, like that's really smart. No one's really tried you out there. We'll get rid of the other guy and use you as the third string edge guy. And then after a few games, he realized he's not good at it. And he's like, I want to move back inside. And they're like, well, we don't have anyone to replace you. So you're stuck now playing edge. So it's a little bit of, yes, he probably wanted to go back inside, but I do think at the beginning of the season, he was like, I want to play edge, and then kind of got stuck there because we
Yeah.
decided to trade away the other depth there. And that's all we had left.
I mean, there's just so many dysfunctional teams or so many dysfunctional things on the team. I mean, do you remember obviously the rock, paper, scissors thing
Oh, I
with
know.
Josh Hines
Well, I
Allen
mean,
and
that's just
Trayvon Walker?
how little depth we had at edge. I mean, the Eagles are sitting there with like
Yeah.
5 edge people that are on rotation, and any one of them, they're like, this guy could be here in free agency, and someone's going to pay big money because like every single one of their 5 could play. And I think it's time that we start building an arsenal of edge players. And we got to go edge here. So please
Love it.
give me Kyle Kennard.
There we go. Well, and some people, I mean, hey, sound off in the comments. We will respond to every comment that you drop as well, and interact with you all. And some, you may be thinking, oh, we go defense, defense, defense. But it's just important to remember Travis Hunter, I think at the very least, is going to play slot wide receiver, 5, 10, 15 plays a game. And whether he gets 2 targets, he's going to have some of the Saquon Barkley effect where he's going to be a distraction. All of a sudden, he's out on the field. He's going to take some focus away from the team.
Yep.
Plus, defense, it's cliche, but defense wins championships. The record for a number 1 defense in the playoffs, I had the stat the other day. Someone look it up and try. I mean, it's crazy. It's very, very impressive.
Let's see. Right here, I would be looking either safety or O line. Oh, you see Greg Zably. Uh,
Gray Zabel.
I don't
Yep.
think he's fallen to
No,
third
he
round
had,
unless he has an absolute terrible combine.
yeah.
But after his performance at Senior Bowl, obviously he's early second, I would say,
Yeah.
maybe middle second. Now, if
Yeah.
he goes out and has a bad combine, he could drop to the third round.
Yeah. The bottom of the third. Yeah, but he's a hot name. If we were just doing this straight up, he'd be the obvious pick. Because I think the value here at 88 would be insane. But yeah, we're not going to go that route just because, again, I think he goes way higher. To your point, Joey, he was probably the MVP of the Senior Bowl. North Dakota State, there's something in the water there, churning out NFL O linemen like more than pretty much even any SEC school. It has been beyond impressive. Certainly goes safety. Also potentially looking at wide receiver here. If there's a big outside Jaylen Noel,
Jaylen
very
Noel
nice.
it will be way higher than that number.
Yeah,
He could go in around 3. Um,
I like him a
Jack
lot.
Beck, I don't like Jack Beck. I watched him in TCU. I understand he has a really nice story,
Yeah,
had a good Senior Bowl, but I watched him at TCU and he wasn't great. I like
and
Nick Nash a lot, the Triple Crown winner.
Yeah,
I see him going round 3, could possibly drop to round 4, but he's a really solid guy that gets overlooked because of the school he played at.
I agree. None of these guys are 100% what I'm looking for. Like if we went a different direction, um,
Ricky White's not bad either. He
yep.
had great numbers.
But a
100.
lot of these guys are kind of more slot, speed, quickness
Yeah,
guys,
yeah, yeah.
which I
Yeah,
love,
he's a slot
but
guy for sure.
I think we've
Nick
got
Nash, you
Christian
can play on the
Kirk
outside.
another year. I think you're going to put Travis Hunter in the slot some and have him move around a lot when you do have him on offense. So let's look at line. Oh man, Anthony Belton. You watch some of the highlights from him at
He's really good. He could go round
the
3. He
Senior
could honestly
Bowl.
go round 2.
Yeah,
He'll shoot up. Um, Ernest Green the third isn't bad. He's someone that could scoot in to be a
yeah.
guard.
Them Georgia boys, they churn out. Charles Grant is an interesting undersized guy. I'm gonna go Anthony Belton. If you're not familiar, he's just a massive. We're just going all trenches. This was not
Oh yeah.
intentional. I thought I was gonna go a little more skill players, but it looks like that will probably be our route day 3. I think we'll hit some safety, wide receiver, maybe even tight end running back day 3. But Anthony Belton, it feels like a realistic range, but still a very good get of a guy that's, again, 6'5, 345. He may weigh slightly smaller, but he, like a lot of these offensive tackles, could easily move inside because you got a lot of power at
Oh yeah.
6'5, 350,
And
but still moves
I
good.
remember I looked at him last year because a lot of people thought he may
Yep.
go to the draft. So he's only got another year under his belt, and I think he's would be a very easy uh, start, if not swing tackle.
Yeah. So that's a pick there. We'll pull up our team as we're waiting to get to round 4. I need to.
Go over to my picks.
Okay, over here.
Yep.
Travis Hunter in the first, Kenneth Grant, Kyle Kennard, and then Anthony Belton. Got
Yep.
the number 1 playmaker, and then just go all line.
French guys.
And you are on the clock at the top of day 3. And
Hmm.
we've got some players here.
All righty.
Let me know if you want to go position or just scroll down a little bit and stay.
Now I don't think there's any way Scattaboo would be there. I would be an interesting pick just because I do think that he is going to be very good in the NFL. I
He's
like
a
the way he
fun player.
runs. Uh, man, like I could see him carrying like 3 guys to get that first down, and how bad we've been on like 3rd and 1. He's the kind of guy that even if he gets hit in the backfield, he's not going to give up.
No,
Um,
it's got some Pacheco in him.
yeah, Tank's got a little bit, but it,
Not at his
it
level.
it didn't, yeah, nowhere near his level.
Man, Grace
Um,
Abel still on the board is crazy.
I know. I don't think he'll be there, but if this was the board that fell to me, I would get Jaylen Reed, the Penn State safety, who is very good, downhill, aggressive safety. Who that's really what I want. He's really good in the run game. You see a lot of swing passes and stuff like that lately. And to have a safety be able to come from the top of the key all the way down to tackle that running back is important. And him being able to make those tackles, people call him the sure tackler because he just doesn't miss. And we saw how bad our tackling was. I would like to see us go safety here. It's a real big need, especially if Cisco goes. I don't think Antonio Johnson, maybe he has a comeback year, but he wasn't great. And then uh, Savage is okay. And I don't want to start Wingard. He's just a guy that you can kind of plug and play like a Buster Brown.
Yeah, safety is going to be a big need for this team. Be interesting to see if we go free agency route. Yeah,
I
I
would
think
like to see that.
all of us are on move on from Cisco, which is sad. Like I love Cisco. He was
I want
one of our
he
guys,
yeah, I was the first one. I
fan
wanted
favorite.
to sign him more than Campbell at the beginning of the
Which
season.
Campbell's deal doesn't look all that good either. So
No, I know, but he had such a good run beforehand. He constantly had like 7 interceptions. There were a lot of times where he'd lay out a huge hit, and I was like, yes. And all of a sudden he would disappear. He'd be like 40 yards back and still getting beat behind him. Or he'd just be so slow to the tackle that they'd already gained 15 yards or something crazy. I'm like, that's not the safety that I want. Uh, so I'll go Jaylen Reed right here.
yep, he had a great season. He got a lot more leadership and opportunity with Kevin Winston
Yeah, he was
out.
injured.
So
So they did rely on Reed a lot this year and played up to it.
yeah. Absolutely. And we'll move a little bit quicker. So again, this is kind of so we have two. Wow,
Oh my
that's a
goodness.
haul. Although that's moving back 40
Yeah,
spots.
yeah.
We'll probably just skip trades today, especially this late in the deal. But I am a big fan of Kobe Bryant, another turnover machine.
Which is
We did
crazy
obviously
right
go.
here. I can't believe Jared Ivey is that low.
Yeah,
I don't
I agree.
I don't know what happened because he is an edge slash D tackle that you can put both ways.
Great
Had
size.
great numbers and I don't know. Like he at the beginning of the draft talk, I feel like was around the second round, and all of a sudden he's falling to like third or fourth, and I think in this fifth, which is crazy.
Yeah, well, so it's just still bottom of the four. So this
Yeah,
is
still, but
Minnesota's. No, I agree. And like this is the fun part of mock drafts, and we do a bunch of them. But every database is different, and rankings are different. I agree. I don't think there's any shot Ivy is this late, but you never
there
know.
is a
Like
lot of edge guys, though. I will
yeah,
say,
you'll always
lot
have guys that fall that personally
shouldn't.
like you're just shocked by, and frankly the other way around too. You'll
Yep.
see some guys like Mason Smith go a lot higher than most people would think. I'm just gonna check receiver again. Torrey Holton, wide receiver, Colorado State.
He was much better last year than he was this year.
Yeah,
He had that
such a
huge
graphic.
game against Colorado
He
last
did.
year.
He went off.
Um,
He's got the size, man. Or do I just go Jaylen Noel? I love his game. He had a great Senior Bowl. A lot of those Iowa State guys have,
yeah.
have been balling out.
Well, he was like a nobody until Higgins got hurt and they had to rely on him. And he stepped up and was a big part of the reason why they did so well in the tournament.
Yeah. Just looking across the board, Calvin Ungai is a
What do we got at
Jaguars fan favorite. A lot of
center?
people love him. There's like nobody at center, unfortunately. I think you'll see some potentially guards
Move to center,
move
yeah.
to center or tackles. A lot of the centers have decided to go back to
I
school, which is
don't
kind of
hate Jake
surprising.
Majors
Mm-mm.
late.
Yeah.
He was okay at UT, and I think he can do better. Like
Yeah.
he still has stuff to go. Like he's no starter for sure, but he could be a guy that can become a really good starter.
Yeah. And that's like what you're shooting for at this point. Parker Washington is the ideal late day 3 pick. I know we're not technically late day 3, but a guy that has potential who's going to get some opportunities and can potentially develop into the slot guy for the Jags. Um, so I'm going to keep looking here for just a second. Then I'm going to make the pick.
What did
Make sure
offensive
I'm not
tackle have?
Charles Grant,
Oh,
really
Charles Grant's still
undersized.
there.
Yeah, he's gonna
He's
definitely.
someone
He
who
might
could
move
possibly
to center.
play center. Yeah, that's what I've seen a lot of people say. I don't hate the UF guy, honestly.
No, he's
Dixon.
a guy that they say can move inside
He'll
too.
move
Oh,
he
both of them.
started off at like a 6 round pick, and I think he's moved up to like a possibly a 4th round pick.
I think I'm just gonna go best available player. Christian Kirk, I think, will stay at least one more year, but you never know. Maybe, I mean, I think he was close to being traded if he didn't get injured. I'll be curious what Liam Cohen thinks, just given his age and then back to back years of injury. Jaylen Noel fills the slot. You're only going to see Hunter out there again, maybe 5 to 10 plays if he is going full time corner. So just give me weapons for Trevor. Give me people that go get the ball. And again, great season for him. He's looked really good. I'm curious what he'll run at the combine. He's got not good height, but good size, almost 200, 5'10", and should run pretty quick. So,
Yeah,
Joey,
he's really
take
good
us to
over the
round
middle.
5.
What do we got here?
Poor Ollie Gordon. I loved him 2 years ago winning the Doak.
Dude, I know. He was really good and he has fallen from grace. Uh, I actually really like Stutsman. Danny, the
Yeah.
linebacker from Oklahoma, uh, really athletic and he's quite good in coverage, which uh it's something that our linebackers aren't very good at. I love Foye, but he's not the great at coverage. And then we've been trying with Lloyd for a while, but it doesn't seem to have been working. So I think it's still a good idea to pull a trigger on another linebacker, see what we can get if he can jump maybe Lloyd or I think Muma's kind of done. I haven't seen anything worth keeping out of him.
I
But
agree. Ventrell Miller
Ventrell Miller was
was nice.
good. Uh, so I'd take a shot here with a linebacker.
Okay. I like it. I like it. You again, you're kind of projecting hopefully for the future. So your
Yep.
linebacker core for the Jazz is probably pretty set for this year. I love what I saw out of Ventrell. Devin Lloyd, I believe, has one more year in the contract. Fourier has, of course, been awesome for us, but it's starting to creep up there in terms of age. And so linebacker day 3 could be a big priority. Let's check out our picks again and drop some grades. So we've gone pretty heavy defense, but the Jags defense was really, really bad, and you need to add a lot of talent. So these are, again, the picks so far. We'll read through them once we finish round 6, and then one pick, I believe, in round 7. So let's see who is on the board here. Stop me
Um,
if you see anyone that jumps out. I'm a Florida State fan. Joshua Farmer.
he's some people have him like in
That's
the
gonna
second
miss.
round.
Yeah. Florida
That's
State
crazy
guys,
that
they
he's
just
so
rise, man.
yeah.
They play well in the NFL. Obviously, Florida State was a disaster. Um,
Seth McLaughlin, the center for Ohio State, isn't a terrible shout.
yep.
Taking a center at 6th. Um,
A lot of Florida guys for all you UF fans.
yeah,
JT, our other brother's a big Gator fan, so
I
uh,
watched Badgers film, or Bagger.
Badger.
He
Sorry,
was
I scrolled too
good. Oh yeah,
fast.
Badger. Good, a little undersized size. Um, Look at the running back for Michigan. I think that's the one who's actually really good at pass blocking.
Let's see.
Um,
Well, come
yeah,
wow, he's big, 6'2",
yep.
233.
That's the guy that they would bring in for pass
Oh, looky,
blocking.
looky.
He had a
Man,
terrible year.
another guy who has fallen from grace as well.
He was so good at Florida.
Is he? I think he's going back somewhere else though.
Yeah, I could see that because he had a horrific year
I
uh,
like going running
with
back here a
injury.
lot.
Yeah, and that Michigan guy is a big dude who can pass block, which is the issue with both of our running backs right now is they can't pass block.
Yeah. Just to point out a couple of Jackson Hawes, he had an awesome game against Georgia.
Yep.
Tight end could be a late need. I don't know what Cohen's going to think about. Brenton Strange was obviously a high pick a couple of years ago. Has been had a better year and has been solid, but that'll be interesting. Um, Knight is another good linebacker. Honestly, one other guy I just wanted to point out. Obviously, I went wide receiver earlier. Pat Bryant is going to be a fun
Uh,
round 5, round 6. He's from
yeah,
Jacksonville, Florida.
he's a
He's got
Jacksonville
good
favorite.
size. Yeah,
I watched his game film too, and for a late round wide receiver, he is very, very good.
yeah. He could. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be this, so like, don't freak out. But he could be. Oh man, not Cup. Who's the Rams? The Rams late day 3 guy who's been amazing.
Oh, Puka Nakua.
Puka Nakua, where like he doesn't test well, got good size, but just gets the ball and makes plays. I'm not saying he's Puka Nakua, but kind of like that. Like I don't expect Pat Bryant to have a great combine in terms of numbers, but just an overall solid dude. But Mullings is going to be the guy running back from Michigan. We need a guy that's going to be big. I love ETN. I think this is going to clearly be his last year in at least my thoughts last year in Jacksonville. Maybe you trade him on the contract deal. I think you need to start thinking about who's going to be RB2 behind Tank, and you get a good power back in Mullings. Michigan's had some good success with running backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
And so that is
And they're
round
good
6.
pass blockers, which would be nice to bring in on like a third and long, and you need that extra blocker. Uh, he could be really valuable.
There goes Pat Bryant to the Bills, by the
Yeah,
way.
so
Pick 198. Shout out to Pat Bryant.
there's
If you're
Seth
watching.
McLaurin,
Oh, there goes ETN.
Joshua
Will Shepard.
Gray,
He's interesting. Here's the guy lining up across from
Riley
him.
Leonard to the Browns.
Actually, that would be an interesting thing too. Less for, well, I guess partly for backup quarterback and more kind of that um the Saints guy role, tight
Alrighty,
end
go
quarterback.
best on board.
All right, let's go back to all. We
This
don't need
is our shot in the dark. Who could possibly be a diamond in the rough?
Shiloh Sanders, baby.
He's
If only he could
so
tackle.
rough. I don't know. I mean, if your dad is Deion Sanders and you still play as bad as he plays, I don't know if anyone can get it out
Shiloh.
of you. But maybe he gets out of the shadow of his brother and blossoms. I don't know. I wouldn't hate taking a shot on him like 7th round, but I wouldn't go anywhere near him at like 5th or 6th.
AKA Bronny James.
Um,
The,
no. Well, I don't know.
just kidding. All right, the only
I
guy
mean,
that
yeah,
jumps out to me, and you give me your thoughts on you see anyone. I already missed him. Tommy
the
Hill.
Craig Woodson safety from California, he's quite a good safety, late round safety. He's
Safety
actually a
from
safety that could
California.
play. You passed him. He's one above Shiloh.
He's gone. There he is.
Yeah, he's right there. Um, he's a little he's quick, track wide
Yeah, it looks
receiver.
like
Like he's more of a free safety, pass disruptor than a tackler. Um, I would probably take my shot on Craig Woodson.
cool.
Um,
Let's do it. The only guy I was going to give a shout out, Ventral Cypress, another Florida State guy for all you Florida State fans. Tommy Hill. He was on Feldman's freak list. He is a
okay.
beast, but he has been trending the wrong direction. He did not have a very good. I can't remember if Senior Bowl or Shrine Bowl for him, but I was disappointed with his performance. He's going to probably have a good combine. Hey, and you're round 7. So what you're looking for is a Monteric Brown, baby. Like get some depth,
Yeah.
get someone who can
I
uh,
think Craig
be
Woodson
a
also
solid
could
player.
possibly his size. I don't know, but he could move to cornerback if need be.
Yeah, the 6 foot 203.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
Here's
those
Shiloh
box
to the
safeties
Panthers.
play slot corner. There goes Tommy Hill. All right, well, the last few, and then we'll put up all the picks. We'll just wait for it to end, and y'all give us your grades. Like, love it, hate it, part of it was just how the board went, but part of it is just inspiration of, hey, we just saw the best team in all the world go dominate the trenches. Offensive line was killer for the Eagles, but obviously defensive line too. So, Joey, read us through, I don't know, first 4 or 5 picks and any kind of final thoughts on those.
Yeah, we go Travis Hunter. Don't know if he'll fall to us, but if he does, I think that's the absolute right pick. Getting a corner and a wide receiver pretty much. You can use them however you want. With young coaches, you can come up with really kind of crazy things for him. It could be a real. Oh, can you hear the
Yeah.
dog?
Oh, no, you're good. You're
Oh,
good.
okay. The dog
Dog's
started
just
barking.
excited. Mia's excited for Travis Hunter. All Jags fans are.
Yes. It could be a nightmare to plan for. Um, and he'd bring a lot of attention and fun to the
Heck
Jaguars,
yeah.
which I'd love. And then Kenneth Grant, a really great D tackle, to really rotate in with Mason Smith, Hamilton, Eric Armstead. You could really have an uh big D tackles, and that's
Come
where
on,
we
the
saw,
Henderson Stroud days.
yeah, the where the Eagles really won the game was the defensive line. That they should have
Yep.
gotten the MVP because they wouldn't have won that game without them. And then Kyle Kennard, obviously another D line guy, edge guy, comes in, can be a not a starter, but rotational starter right away. Help us rack up some sacks. Has a lot of arsenal moves with spin moves, chop, power. Uh, love his size too. He's not undersized. Uh, and he's not huge to where like you're like, does he go inside? Does he go outside? He is about perfect 250, 6'4" ish. He would be a great addition to Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker.
Yep. And then we went Anthony Belton there at the end of round 3 with that extra pick that we got from Minnesota. We went 2 guys in the top 4 over potentially 340 pounds, which is just fun. Draft some in, draft some beast. You can't coach size like that. And so potentially swing tackle. I believe actually played both at NC State, could also move in as guard, just a power blocker, help us run, pass protect. Jaylen Reed, I love this pick. Great one here, Joey. Safety from Penn State. Has a real shot, even from a 4th round pick, being our starter, day 1 starter. I think we could see kind of like a Jarian Jones was a late day 3, but immediate impact. Jaylen Reed was great for Penn State. And then Jaylen Noel, we just went best available player, give Trevor some more weapons. Liam Cohen, we saw with Baker Mayfield, he's going to want to air the ball out, make big plays. And so get Trevor one more weapon to throw in there with potentially Travis Hunter getting some snaps on offense too.
Yeah, Jaylen Noel really reminds me of the McMillan that the Tampa Bay drafted. I think it was in the
Petro
middle
McMillan,
round.
no, I'm just kidding. Jalen
No,
McMillan,
yeah,
yes,
Jalen
yes.
McMillan.
Yeah, who had a
Uh,
great rookie season.
had a great rookie season.
And Liam Cohen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I think he could
Good
really
call.
uh, do something for Trevor and add just an extra little piece. Next went Danny Stutsman. I think it'd be great, just kind of addition to linebackers. Maybe help out with some coverage on the linebacker area. We really need to be able to cover the tight ends as our linebackers just let any old tight end go for like 100 yards against us. So having some depth there, being able to cover that. And then Mullings, the Michigan running back, a huge guy who can pass protect, which is exactly what we need because Tank and Travis Etienne, great running and shifty guys, but have really let us down in pass protection. So getting a third running back to be able to protect Trevor when he needs that extra blitzer picked up, it would be huge. And then last but not least, Craig Woodson, a guy who could possibly be a good safety. Had a really good career at California and is really fast and could also possibly move to corner. So could see him producing.
Well, there we go. That's our first 7 round mock. And obviously, a couple more months, this will change and shift. We got the um, We got the combine coming up here pretty soon. Then we'll see free agency, what the Jags do. That'll shift some stuff. But let us know your thoughts. Drop your grades. Again, we're going to respond to each and every one. So if you hate it, let us know and tell us what you would have done different. If you love it, like hopefully us. But drop your grades. We want to know your thoughts and hit subscribe. If you love the Jags, if you love the NFL draft, hit subscribe. And we're going to be doing a lot more NFL draft content.
All righty, let's get to the Super Bowl.